Hey, welcome to Limitless, Take 5. Hey, good afternoon, Bishop. How you doing today?
Good.
Awesome. Hey, we're going to talk about Jesus always tended to ask more questions in his ministry. And we're going to talk about one of the parables that he talked about with the disciples. And it's out of Matthew 13 and verse 24 through 30. It's the parable of the wheat and the tares. And verse 24 says, "In another parable he put forth to them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the grain had sprouted and produced a crop, then the tares also appeared. So the servants of the owner came and said to him, 'Sir, do you not sow good seed in your field? How then does it have tares?' And he said to them, an enemy has done this. The servant said to him, 'Do you want us to go and gather them up?' But he said, 'No, lest while you gather up the tares, you will also uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And at the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, first gather together the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn.'"
Yeah, so this is one of those parables and one of those scriptures that like a lot of people have read time and time again.
Yeah?
But I think there's a deeper word or revelation, I think, than sometimes we understand about it. One is that he says he sows good seed. Mm-hmm. The first thing someone needs to understand is that God's never sowed bad seed.
Oh, that's good, man.
There's no bad seeds. Mm-hmm. That many times you can look at people, no matter how evil they are, no matter how terrible they've done, no matter how the actions they've done, somewhere underneath of all of that pain, that hurt, the twistedness, the evilness, mm-hmm. somewhere originally God, down underneath of that, sowed good seed. Yeah. And God has good in the hearts and lives of every person. There is a core of something good from God. It may be covered, it may be buried, it may have been through a whole lot of things, but God never sows bad seed.
Come on.
And so God sowed good seed. We look at it many times as that God sowed seed in the field, and then the enemy sowed something else, and we look at it like this is the church versus the world, or the saved versus the unsaved. That mm-hmm. the saved is the wheat, and the unsaved and the world is the tare. Right. No, the world is the field that right. God sowed the church, us, into. Mm-hmm. So it's not just, so the world is not the tare, then what is the tare? The tare is you and you, the wheat and the tare that have both been sowed into your life. Come on. And look how the enemy works. The Bible says that God sowed good seed, but while men slept. When do men sleep? Men sleep at night. Right. The enemy always uses a dark season as his cover to do his work.
Come on, man.
And many people think that the night is the problem. The night is not the problem. The attack you went through, the divorce you went through, the trauma you went through, the evil you went through, the pain you went through, that night season, that season where everything looked like everything was bleak and dark, and they feel like if I can just survive what happened to me, that's all I need to do, because the enemy brought this dark season. No, the darkness was not the real attack. The darkness season was the thing that the enemy used to do his work in. It's not the actual thing that brought the greatest attack. The greatest attack is what's left behind after the dark season is over. That when you've come through the divorce and you've come out the other side, when you come through the pain, you come through the other side. You come through the betrayal, you come out the other side. It's what was left in you after you came through it, and now the good is in you, but so is the tare. And now you're in ministry, but you're bitter. Now you're in a new relationship, but you carry the anger and unforgiveness and distrust of the old one in you, because you made it through the night, but now the night left something in you. Wow. And the real threat is when both of them grow together. And for most people, they need to understand that inside of you, you have what God sowed in you and what your past has left behind in you. And there's things in your past that want to choke out what God has put in you. And that is the wheat and the tare.